Hi guys, welcome back to Doing You with Maddie Chu. We are here for episode 2. I am so excited to be talking about today's episode. As we can see, I'm in full glam. I have a prep clinic tonight because auditions are on Sunday. Open call is on Sunday, guys. Auditions are coming by so fast, and the prep clinic today really just kind of inspired me to be like, oh, what if I tell you guys about my journey? I feel like some people know about my journey, but not everyone, and I love to share it. It makes me just so warm inside, and I hope it can resonate with anybody watching. So for anyone who doesn't know my journey, I've always been obsessed with MHD dancers, especially if you're in Miami and you're a dancer. Growing up, they were the it girls. They were what you strive to be, at least if you were a strong performer. And I think I grew up in the generation where Fergie and Pussycat Dolls and these baddie, sexy women were just so strong. And that's who I wanted to be. And that's all I focused on and how I performed. So growing up, I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be a little heat dancer. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But no, honestly, I really wanted to be my heat dancer since the dawn of time in my life, I guess. No, but I really did want to be a heat dancer, and I didn't go to a studio. So for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a self-trained dancer. I didn't train in a studio at all. I actually grew up watching YouTube videos and Dance Moms and So You Think You Can Dance, and I literally would watch them and be like, I'm gonna learn that step, and go to my living room and practice whatever I was doing. I really learned through, my dad was a DJ, so he would play music and I was just free ball, doing whatever, just performing. As long as I was having fun and the audience was having a great time, aka the audience just being my parents, my sister, I was winning. But ultimately, I really did teach myself the basic steps. I was fortunate enough to be a part of my school dance teams in middle school and high school, and I really do think that helped me in terms of technicality and pirouettes and turns and little fundamentals, but nothing like what a studio would train a dancer to be. So I always felt like I had to work 10 times harder, and we'll get into how that affected me recently. But yeah, so after high school, I just kind of went for it. I went to the prep classes that they had and the workshops, and I was just going. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know a single person who had done this. I was looking through the Instagram, trying to match what they wore. And I actually remember the first class I went to, and I think this is what ended up setting me up for success later. But I remember showing up in my little Nike leggings and this heat tank that my sister showed me. I didn't know how to style my hair. I didn't know how to do makeup. I didn't know any of that. So no makeup, no hair done. Obviously, I see these adult women, full glam, ready to kill it. And I was like, what am I doing? It was intense. I didn't do bad, but I obviously saw everybody else to a certain level and I wasn't there. And I think that's what made me really sad after that class. My dad had picked me up and I went in the car and I was sobbing and I was like, I can't do this, I'm not doing it. And my dad was like, well, we already paid for the other classes, so yeah, you are. You're doing them. And I was like, okay. So asked my sister, I was like, give me whatever you got. We were makeshifting outfits and clothes that I can wear to these clinics and things. It got better, but it wasn't the best. I obviously did my makeup a little bit, still wasn't this at all. But I did some makeup, okay. I had my sister help me do my hair, okay. She wasn't that cute, but she was trying. The effort was there. Then we ended up doing open call. Went in just doing the best I can do and having a fun time. I ended up making it all the way to boot camp. So got through the first 3 rounds of open call, made it to boot camp, got the pamphlet. I was so scared. I also was so shy, and I mean I still am, but I was so shy. So homegirl was not speaking to a single soul. I think throughout the whole time in boot camp, I maybe spoke to 5 people. Seriously, I was just so little, you know, like I was so young and I didn't know what I was doing, and I truly was just like terrified. But went through boot camp for the first time. Guys, boot camp is crazy. And I don't think I knew what that was. Like the intensity of the learning of the dances, the across the floor, the freestyle, the paddles, the workouts, like I was not ready for any of it. Like I truly did leave the week like so mature, and I think I learned so much in 1 week than I did in so many years of like dance teams. Like it was absolutely insane. But went through the whole week, made it to final show. Final show this year was also like in the arena with the lights. Like it was one of the coolest experiences. I mean, the other times have been great too, but that truly was just such a one-of-a-kind experience. Like, and my whole family was there, all my best friends were there. Like, it was just a moment that I can really just picture vividly, and I remember. Went through it, I felt so confident in myself. Like, I think no matter what, I was really proud of myself. Obviously, they called the names of the team, and my name was not called. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little petty, and I remember everyone who didn't get called went back into like the back room, and 2 of like the Heat alum actually came and talked to everyone, and I didn't mean it in a bad way, but I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and mope. Like, I'm gonna go eat dinner. I was like, I wanna go find mommy, daddy, and I wanna go eat dinner because I was very sad and upset. And I just packed my bag and I walked out. I mean, I didn't do it in a bratty way, but it was one of those things where I was like, I don't wanna be here. Like, bye. So ended up leaving. My family and friends were so supportive. Like we were at dinner and they're like, Maddie, like it's okay. Like things always happen and it always happens for a reason. And I felt in my life at this point that always happened to me. Like I always had a plan A and it just never went plan A. Like there were so many different ways that life could take me, and I think I was kind of frustrated by that. So I think that's what hurt me a little more, but whatever, I didn't make it. There's nothing I could do at that point. Did my freshman year of college, made new friends, you know, really set up my success at school and focusing on all the right things. And during this time, I was immediately prepping. Like I was using my education to also prep me, just maturing myself in my education, maturing myself professionally, how I carried myself, how I spoke, what was important to me, what were my values. Like those were things that I remember we talked about in boot camp, and I wanted to maintain and I wanted to focus on just as much as I wanted to focus on my dancing. Just working my professionalism and me and who I wanted to become. Obviously I was a dance major, still am. And so my dance classes I was using as training, working out, getting stronger, taking classes like outside of school, but also anytime it was like a Heat alum or it was Coach Natalia, I was in the class, I booked it, I was working so I could make money so I could take classes. Like that was my mindset, you know, that year I didn't make it. I ended up doing IDE, which is Immersion Dance Experience. Shout out to Miss Casey Rosenberg. But I did it to really kind of help me develop the dancer I wanted to become. And did the weekend. It was such a great weekend too. Like I think you have to acknowledge what you're doing. Like it's not just about taking any random class and things like that, and it is good. Like you want to just be taking classes, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to set myself up for the things I wanted to achieve, right? And so I knew I wanted to take classes with Heat alum and Heat dancers and things like that. And this one had like every Heat dancer, ex-Heat dancer ever. Coach was gonna be there. I needed to be there. I was like, that is what we're doing. Did it. It was such a great weekend. I grew so much. I learned so much about myself, about my insecurities at the time, things I need to focus on, you know. And I really think that is one of the best things I could have done for myself as a dancer, but also professionally. Like I got headshots, which ended up helping me, you know, look a little more professional. But here, I remember one of my favorite Heat alum actually came to judge like these auditions, and her name is Miss Jenny Valdez. Love her, my twinnie. And I remember she saw me, and I actually had her pen that I had gotten at boot camp previously and was using it, and she remembered me, and she was like, I love that you didn't do that, but you are here. Like, working. Like, that is so important to you. And the fact that she remembered my face was like, wow, okay, like, people are seeing me, I'm being seen. Like, yes, continue, right? Because like, you want to make sure they're seeing you and like, hey, I'm putting in this work because I want to be here. That fight and that determination is so important for a dancer to have, because that's going to be their work ethic for the team during the season, all those important things, right? Did that, did the pro workshop experience, did every class ever, did all the clinics again, and you already know I learned how to do my makeup, I learned how to do my hair, I was showing up full out, guys. Like, every outfit that I wore to these clinics was like a full on costume. She didn't play. Madison was not playing. Like, I knew I was working and I'm gonna make the team this year, and there's no ifs or buts about it. Like, it was happening. So did all the classes, did all the clinics. I was getting a lot of good feedback, and that is good to get. You know, you also don't want to be like, well, I'm getting all this good feedback, I'm gonna make it. But I was still taking it in a positive way and being like, okay, I'm on the right track, right? And one of the biggest things, and I remember Casey had explained this, and I learned that back in the day, is like, you don't want to chase something because it's gonna run away. You want to attract it to you. So I really wanted to just manifest my life and be positive and remember that I was doing this because I loved it, not about the reward of being a heat dancer. I was doing it because I loved it, and I wanted to perform in front of tons of people, and I wanted to honestly represent my city and represent all the dancers. Like, and especially for me, it was about representing the girls who may not have had the best dance startup, but that doesn't mean you can't be successful in your career, right? I wanted to show that you can, and there's a different way of putting that work in. Maybe we have to work 10 times harder, who knows? But like, I was doing the things so that I could achieve this dream. But I wasn't chasing it, I was attracting it. I think all the mindset shifts really made me just thrive and feel so confident. I was so focused on myself, not everybody else or who was auditioning this year, blah, blah, blah. And I remember, because sometimes I would be like, oh, that girl came to that class, and this girl, my rookie class, it was only like me and someone else who maybe did the prep clinics. All my rookie class just showed up the day of auditions and auditioned. But again, I wasn't focusing on those things. I really wanted to focus on me. Went in, I was gonna kill open call, did it. I was so proud of myself. Ended up getting into boot camp again. Okay, I felt great. Like, now we know what to expect. Now I am ready. I'm gonna be fully prepared. I'm gonna be on my A game. They're gonna see a different dancer Madison. They're gonna see a different professional Madison. You know, I remember I signed up to do interviews first. Like, I was like, you are seeing a different person. Like, I'm coming in fully confident and fully ready. And I did. Like, again, that was the energy that I went in with. Like, I was so determined. And one of my favorite things, back to the first year, they had asked the mantra, the first year I auditioned, they asked what the Miami Heat dancer mantra is. No one knew the answer. They ended up telling us what the mantra was, and I was gonna remember that. And I actually have a reminder on my phone, I still have it, and it recites the mantra for me so I can read it, and I like ingrain that in my brain. So of course, we have the first day of boot camp, and they ask us, what is the Heat dancer mantra? Hand was up so fast. I was like, oh, I know this. And I recited perfectly, and I remember everyone being like, she's a teacher's pet, I hate her. But for me, like, and I remember, like, again, our manager, Crystal, and everyone was like, and Michael McCullough, who's a very important man in the Heat, they were there, and they saw that. And for me, it was so important to be like, I remember what happened last year, and I want to be prepared, and I want to be ready, and I want to be the one that knows the stuff. And for anyone who doesn't know our mantra, we are the hardest working, best conditioned, strongest, most passionate, professional, confident, empowered dance team in the NBA. I'm never gonna forget that. Like, now I see it pop up every day. I'm like, okay, girl, we know. Like, that is something I don't think I will ever forget. But it was so important for me to I wanted to be on my A game. Like, I wanted to be like, not the best, but yes, like, I am ready for this team, and I want you to see that I am. This year, they also implemented training camp, so that was another hurdle. But we finished the week, we had final show, it was a great show, so much fun. And I got called into training camp, and I was so excited. I was like, okay, this isn't the team yet, but it's one step closer. Gotta keep fighting. Training camp was obviously different. It was never a thing as a Heat dancer, so it was new for everybody. It was a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. I think I was crying every night of training camp. Like, I was so scared. But now I was a little more comfortable. I was making some new friends. Okay, I was talking to people. I was getting there. I was building relationships. Like, I can see the confidence in me like was slowly growing. But again, I was still a baby. I was only 19. Like, I was still an itty bitty baby. But we ended up making it through training camp, and I made it that year. And I had such an awesome rookie year experience. Like, it was definitely new. It was definitely hard. I won't lie. Like, it was difficult. And again, I was one of the youngest ones out of my rookie class, but out of the whole team. Our team age range was just a lot higher, you know, mid-20s to like upper 20s, and I was 19 years old with my one friend who was 18. Like, we were the babies. And no, I didn't like carry myself like a baby, but you can just see, like, I had so much to learn and to figure out that a lot of them had already experienced. Like, I was still in college, they had already graduated. Like, it was such a different life, and I was still scared and shy. And I obviously had the best buddy ever at Nicole. Like, and I think her loud craziness really complemented my shy quietness, and I think that is what helped me grow out of my shell. But rookie year was tough. I think I just had a lot to learn about myself. Like, I knew who I was becoming, but the team really starts to form you and who you want to be and where you want to go. And I was still figuring that out, and it was hard. And I had a lot of low moments just with myself and being like, is this for me? Like, is this for me? Because you almost have that like imposter syndrome, and I think I had that. And I was like, wow, like, okay, I did it, but like, are we sure? Like, are you guys sure you want me? Like, it was a lot. But I made it through, and I still had a great time, and I made so many amazing relationships, especially like my close friend group are all from that year, my rookie year, and I just really needed it. But that's not the end. You know, yes, I had a great rookie year, but I knew I was coming back, obviously, for a second season, and knowing that I felt kind of like the baby of the group, I really wanted to just come back like stronger and just being like, you know what, I was, but I'm a strong dancer, I'm a strong leader, I'm a strong vet. Like, everyone was gonna know, like, don't play with me, don't play with my spot. So really learned how to do makeup and hair, changed up the vibes, got a new haircut, got some new headshots. Like, I wanted to come in so strong and confident. I was training, you know, that's something that didn't stop doing just because I also love dancing, but kept training, taking classes, and going to all the clinics still, and just being like, hey, I'm here and I'm training, and I want to get better and I want to do my best. And I went in my second year into boot camp and into training camp super strong, super on my A game. I ended up getting called out in boot camp as, you know, a vet who was putting in the work and looked like a vet, and that meant so much to me. Like, it meant so much to me because it was like, wow, like, my hard work is paying off. Like, people are seeing me. It always goes back to people seeing you and for what you bring and who you are. And that was such a strong moment for me because I was like, okay, like, I'm meant to be here. Like, I know I deserve to be here. And again, had a great audition time, and during training camp it was great, and I just completed my second season. I do think the season was also rough, mainly because of my mental health and almost that chasing and not attracting energy. I think going into my vet year, I had kind of my priorities in a wrong way. Like, they were not where they should have been, let me say, better say. My priorities weren't where they should have been, and I kind of went into things like not the best, honestly. Like, I'm gonna be so honest, like, I wasn't focusing on the right things for the season, and obviously other external stuff really just went into play, and I just felt like a mess. Like, I felt like a mess 24/7, and not like physically. I was always organized, always professional, don't play. But I think mentally, I had like really highs, like, oh, I'm doing great, and then being like, why? Like, why? You know, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's only something that I feel like if you're on the team, you can understand. And there was just some people that also don't help certain situations, and they weren't helping the situations. And I really got to this point where I was like, I don't think I can be a heat dancer anymore. Like, I need to be done. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, what's going on? And I felt so chaotic. And again, it was like during the time I talked about in my last episode, like things were just not in. I almost wanted to give up on everything. Like I was ready to be done with everything. But I had to take a second and remind myself why I started to do this whole process and go and be a heat dancer all over again. Like what was the focus? Why was I doing this? You know? And I think when I took a break and kind of stepped away from everybody and everything, and I had time to just sit with myself, I was like, I cannot go out like this. Like, it wasn't a bad year, it was a great year, guys. Like, hold on, I don't want people to mistake. Like, I got to go to Mexico, I got to do like a beach shoot, like, I had some great things this past season. My mental health just wasn't there because my focus wasn't in the right place. And ultimately, I obviously am coming back for a third season, duh, but I think now I have my priorities straight in terms of where I want to go and what my focus for this season is. And for me, that is just to have fun. Like, go back to why I'm doing all this. Go back to what I told myself the year I made the team. What are we focusing on? And it was happiness, to enjoy the process, to enjoy everything that we're doing, and all these external things don't matter. None of it matters. What matters is if I'm having a great time and I'm making sure my teammates are having a great time, and that's what I want. And I felt like I lost track of that during the process because, trust me, this season is crazy, y'all. This season is crazy. And then when you have other things such as school and other jobs come into play, like everything is just chaotic. And sometimes you can lose sight of like why you're doing this, your why for being on the team. And my why is just to entertain and have fun and be with my friends. Like, honestly, doing training and stuff like that recently and now having that focus, I feel just like good. I feel great, you know? I feel like people who are watching me are now actually seeing Madison, and not just Madison before, not MHD Madison, but like me, who I am as an artist, regardless if I'm a Miami Heat dancer or I'm just dancing for me. Like, they are seeing Madison the artist, and I think that means I'm doing what I need to do. Like, I am now truly in my authentic self as a dancer, and I am so ready to take that into the season and help others find their authenticity, especially like we're gonna have a big rookie class this year, which is honestly great. Like, it is gonna be great. You get to have people find themselves as a heat dancer and get to have these memories that I remember making my rookie year. And if I can help them in any way, shape, or possible, I want to do that. And I am so excited to do that, regardless of anything. Like, I just want to be a great teammate and give them positive energy, so like everyone is vibing and we can just have a great season. And of course, you're gonna have your ups and downs. You're gonna have your downs. It's so normal, but they won't be as bad as they have to be if I know I'm doing my part as a teammate. And I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it because I want to have a great experience. And I do know that this is my last season, you know, because I'm going to graduate college and I'm ready to explore what else the industry has for me and where I can go and take my career. And I'm excited to do those steps. But before I get there, I'm ready to just kind of go through my last season and just have the best time ever and just enjoy it and really soak in every memory possible and focus on being Madison, the authentic Madison, not the anxious, stressed, everything Madison. And I have been putting in the work mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, everything. I've been doing it because I love it. I do, you know. And I think for people who are coming in and auditioning, I am so excited for you. Please focus on just having fun. I promise you, the more you have fun, the less anxiety and stress you have, the less you'll mess up, I promise. Like, and if you mess up, it's okay. We all mess up. It's not that serious. But just focus on to why you're doing this. So why are you auditioning? Why are you wanting to be a part of this team? Like, what is your why? And be so honest. It's okay. Like, be honest, but go and be you. The more you're you, the more they get to see that, the more that's who they want on their team, you know. And when you are on the team, like, so much is just gonna happen, but you need to really keep that why so strong, because sometimes it'll be questioned, you know. It is such a great experience. The sisterhood is immaculate. You know, we've been able to do like Heat Dancer Alumni Weekend, and that was so amazing to see, like, wow, I'm a part of the sisterhood. Like, this is crazy. And it is legit. Like, it is not just the people you're on the team with, but I feel like I have genuinely made really great connections and friendships with people who were on the team 5-10 years ago, even longer than that. Like, those connections are just so amazing to see and feel and live, and they're so legit and authentic and honest and real. Like, nothing, no words can really be put together to explain that feeling that you get to feel and you get to have and you get to say you have. Like, it's amazing. And no matter what, I am proud of my journey, even if it has seemed a little crazy, even if it is not perfect, because it isn't, and I will be so honest and vulnerable about it, and that's okay. It's nothing to do with anyone or anything. It only has to do anything with me and where I'm at and what my focus is and what my why is and how I've gotten lost in that. But I'd rather be vulnerable if that means it helps someone, if it relates to anybody, because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not crazy. And I know people struggle with things, and it's okay. And that doesn't mean we won't achieve success. That doesn't mean that things will be over and be awful. Like, no, things can always get better. Things will get better. Things always work out for you. Like, God and the universe, whatever you believe in, has a plan, and that plan is so perfectly fit for you. I promise. You just have to trust the process. Just trust the process, but it's all gonna work out and it's gonna be great. And I wish all the luck to everybody auditioning this season. I can't wait to see people. I'm so excited to go through it. As much as it's crazy and tiring and exhausting and scary, it is fun and exciting and exhilarating, and just go and have a good time and go be a baddie. Show it, leave it all out on the dance floor, man. I can't wait, guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'll see you guys very soon with some special guests. But for now, bye.